Hey soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're doing a reading about your future self having transpassed a stubborn challenge in your life and is here for a message for you. And to do this reading we are going to be picking 3 piles together. So for pile number 1, this is what we have. For pile 2, this will be it. And for pile 3, we're picking this one. Let's see what we have for today's reading. For pile number 1, we have Aries. For pile number 2, we have the 6th house. And for pile number 3, we have the 10th house. If you like to pick with crystals, let me add these right now. There we go. So for pile number 1, we have the cherry quartz. And this is what your crystal looks like. For pile number 2, we have the yellow Aventurine. And this is what your crystal looks like. For pile number 3, we have the Lapis Lazuli, and this is what your crystal looks like. So, take a look at which one of these 3 piles or 3 crystals you're the most drawn to. And that's probably the pile for you here today. If you feel drawn to more than one pile or more than one crystal, feel free to check them out. Because, you know, your intuition, as I always say, is what surprises you every day. It leads you to your piles and you get surprised at just how accurate it led you to the right message. How accurate your message was and how it was able to accurately send you to the right message. So let it lead the way. Whether it's calling for just one, several, or all, trust it. And as usual, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times and I'll see you in your readings. Hey soul family, welcome to your shuffling and card picking process. We are preparing your piles today for the reading. Your future self has passed a stubborn challenge and now has a message for you. Let's see what this message is from your future self. But before we begin, let me introduce your cards to you. On the left are the oracle decks, and on the right are the tarot decks that we will be using for your reading today. All right, so let's get straight into it and let's start shuffling with intention. It's so weird. Did I pick this oracle card deck today? I think I was meaning to go for something else. I can't remember what I wanted to choose, but I believe this deck totally invited itself in today's reading. I can't remember which deck I wanted instead of this one, to be honest. But surprises like that I believe they're meant to be here for a reason. I certainly didn't pick this one. Or I made a mistake at least. Okay, so nothing is a mistake. Everything is there for a reason. Thank you so much for coming into our reading today. I appreciate you. All right, let's see how this is going to translate into your reading today. Let's now pick the next deck. And again, shuffle with intention. What is your future self's message for you today after having transcended a stubborn challenge in your life? So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're gonna divide your tea leaves into 3 parts. All right, so pile 1. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. So your oracle cards for today's reading are now ready. Let's pick up your tarot cards, and as always we will be taking 2 cards from each deck. These are 3. Okay, so the 3 piles for today's reading are now ready. Let's put them together neatly for your reading. Pick pile 1. is pile number 1 with the cherry quartz. Pile number 2. With the yellow Aventurine. Pile 3. There. With the Lapis Lazuli. There we go. Your 3 piles for today's reading are now ready. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Love you guys very much, and let's get straight into your reading. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the cherry quartz as well as Aries with independence, bravery, and passion. And we're taking a look at your future self's message on, I don't want to say what you need to do, because it may not be about anything you have to do at all, but it's a message from your future self after having gone through a stubborn challenge and passing it. All right, so let's see what you have. So you have Gambler with the light attributes, willingness to follow intuition, even when others doubt you. And then there's the shadow attribute with relying on luck rather than hard work. Right, we'll keep this there. You also have determination. Wow, look at this yellow card. Very strong, potent energy in this card. You also have Cup. You should accept valid criticism. All right. Now, let's take a look at your tarot cards. This way we get a better understanding of what your future self is relaying to you. So, you have the 4 of Wands. Talk about celebrating something and transpassing something for sure. Okay. You have the 8 of Wands. You have the Page of Cups. The 9 of Cups. Wow. Okay. You have the Justice card. You have the 10 of Wands. Sorry, 10 of Intuition is 10 of Swords. My apologies. You have the 10 of Swords. I kind of see a new eyeball to look at something in a different way. Okay. You have the High Priestess. The King of Swords. And you have, whoa, the Empress. All right, very powerful cards indeed. So, what is your future self relaying here? I think your cards are actually pretty clear, my dear pile number 1. It's spelling out to us exactly what's going on. It looks like to me here, you have a huge goal, but with all these huge mountains here, it looks very intimidating to maybe even begin to look at them. I think my dear pile number 1, as much as you would love to achieve this goal, as much as you are feeling already broken down by it, or like you can't move with the 10 of Swords. You know, the regular 10 of Swords, the Rider-Waite-Smith, depicts a figure on the floor, face down, and with a lot of swords on their back. So it's kind of giving me the impression of feeling like you're beaten down before even beginning, my dear pile number 1. You make no question about it. You would love to achieve this goal, but at this point, it just looks very intimidating to you. I feel it's about, with the Page of Cups here, taking water from an outside stream. I feel it's like finding the energy to you. It's about finding the energy. I think you feel so weighed down by the amount of work perhaps that you have to take, and just merely thinking about it makes you feel dizzy with the tornado here. Makes you feel like, oh my God, I can't do that. I don't know if I'll be able to even begin this project or this goal that I want. Gosh, and I do see that your future self is telling you from the future, 4 of Wands, we have done this, we're celebrating this, we're way beyond this challenge. In fact, we're looking at new challenges now. Your future self is very, very proud of you. And so here, there is an invitation of looking at your goals from a fresh new perspective. Because I see your future self telling you, if you keep looking at it like it's deadbeat, like you can't do it, that's what you may end up doing. And why suffer through it if you're going to achieve it anyways? The great news here is that you will be achieving it. But as your cards show, with Aries here, specifically with Aries, and this yellow card, this is all about determination. Even if it looks very intimidating, the fact that you can organize yourself and to go after it, because the 8 of Wands is velocity, to create momentum. Sorry. To go after it anyway, even if it looks intimidating, this will be your key to winning and overcoming this challenge, my dear pile number 1. Your cards specifically tell you to not depend on chance to get it done, to not depend on yourself saying someday I will, tomorrow I will, it's gonna happen. No, but rather with the High Priestess and the King of Swords, to take responsibility and to plan it out meticulously. And the more, remember here with the High Priestess, the more you do tough things like that, the more you'll realize that you're taking care of yourself. Because when you take a small action towards something that was intimidating and actually finishing it, you'll realize that you're taking care of yourself, you're nurturing yourself, because you no longer ever have to worry about that piece that you've just finished. Imagine that. Every time you take care a small piece of that intimidating goal and get it done, it's one more piece that you never have to worry about again. Finito. It's done. And so the more you do one of these little pieces, the more it's gone and you don't have to worry about it. So really with the King of Swords here, it's all about organizing yourself and slicing it down, taking it piece by piece, and forget about how intimidating this whole mountain looks or this whole goal that you have looks. Because if you look at it as a whole picture, it will look intimidating. Nobody handles this whole goal all at once by themselves. It's always done by cutting it into little pieces and worrying about that little piece on that day, and that's it. And the more you worry about that piece, get it over with, you're now watching another pile form, a whole mountain of things that you have done that is growing every day. And this mountain is a mountain that you never have to worry about ever again. In fact, it's a mountain that you're very proud of. And that's how you take care of yourself. This is what I see here. Your future self telling you about the High Priestess with the King of Swords and the Empress. It's all about making your dreams come true with the Nine of Pentacles, making it happen. Because why wish? Do you see this Nine of Pentacles is sitting down on a well? Why continue to sit down and wish for it to happen when you have it in your hands to make that very wish come true, my dear pile number one? Now, what I've noticed with this Page of Cups from the very beginning, the idea of energy. Remember when I told you I felt like you were a little intimidated? Because looking at you taking water from outside kind of gave me the impression that you may not feel that you have the energy for it. And that's what your cards are saying here. The more you create momentum, the more you get energy. Because you'll feel motivated as you finish things up. You'll feel like you have the capacity to do things. And so mental tricks of, oh, I can't do it, feeling depressed, kind of takes energy from us. And when we tackle these, when we see ourselves doing something that we otherwise thought was difficult, we tend to get not just our energy back, but we tend to get this overflow of energy. We're motivated, we feel like we can do it, we're so happy we took ourselves to this place, and we want to tackle even more to get closer to the goal that we want. And so you'll always find a stream of energy if you just get up and tackle a little bit from this intimidating goal that you want. And before you know it, you'll find yourself achieving huge things. And like from the place where your future self is from, you'll even finish this intimidating goal, and you will be celebrating the exact results that you wanted all along, my dear pile number one. You know, consider it like a hot cup of tea. What do we do with a hot cup of tea? Do we drink all of it and get second-degree burns, right? Or do we take it sip by sip? And before we know it, the whole cup of tea has finished. It's the same thing with your quite intimidating goal. It's not about finishing it all at the same time. Enjoy the journey just as you would with a cup of tea, and take it one sip at a time. I'm noticing something very interesting in your reading with regards to what your future self wants to relate to you. First of all, with the gavel here, it's quite clear that your future self is saying, once you take the decision, don't go back. Continue at it, because that's how you're going to be seeing results. But there is something about feminine energy assisting your masculine energy. Masculine energy is, of course, being disciplined, determined, going after what you want with force, and so on. Feminine energy a lot of the times could be about the magic that we experience as we do something, the intuition that helps us, or the general magic that can help us as we do a certain task. We have here Venusian, the sign of Venus, Venusian energy. Of course, with the Empress, we have the Venus sign again. We have follow your intuition in the Gambler card. We have the High Priestess herself. And so we have a lot of feminine energy. And so the whole reading is not just about this masculine energy of go after what you want, be determined, be disciplined, and you're gonna take it little by little, but just do it. No, I'm seeing a lot a lot of feminine energy as well, letting me understand that your future self is saying, take steps towards it, do what you're supposed to do, and you will be surprised with how a lot of these that you thought were complicated, were going to take time to finish, were very intimidating to do, must have taken weeks and weeks, if not months, to get done, and it's just being done in a couple of days. You'll be surprised at how magical the process is going to be. It's going to surprise you with how easily and quickly it gets done, almost to a degree that may not even be logical at some point. And so your future self is saying, you won't see this magic or experience this magic until you actually get your hands dirty and start working on it, my dear pile number 1. So yeah, you'll be seeing things a lot differently the minute you begin. Just get to it. Don't worry about how intimidating it is. Work on your little piece every day, and that's the only piece you need to worry about. Put it behind you so that you never worry about it again, and you will realize through this process that there's a lot of magic happening, that it's being finished quickly, it's being finished easily, you're not suffering as you go through it, and before you know it, you will be the future self who would love to go back to you now and tell you, gosh, it was much easier than you think it is. Please get to it so that we can celebrate our goal and have it done. There's no use of continuously worrying about it when it's not going to go down that way. And this is exactly what I see in your reading, my dear pile number 1. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Also, if you enjoy Zodiac Tarot readings, make sure you check out my other channel. It's the first link in the description box. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book, my dear pile number 1. This book is small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate or waste time reading it. It can really help you out with this project that you're working on. Get it done easily. This book has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. There's also an audiobook if you love listening to your books. And my dear pile number 1, it was a real pleasure doing this reading for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wishing you the best on this project that you're working on. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You have chosen the yellow Aventurine as well as the 6th house. So you have, with the 6th house, of course, establishing a foundation. You have health, daily life, and practical details. Let's see how this fits into your reading. And as you know, we're taking a look at a certain message from your future self after having passed a stubborn challenge in your life. And we'll be starting off with your oracle cards first, as we always do. So you have artist. Interesting. The light attributes for that is expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. So interesting. I love that. The shadow attributes are using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. All right, so let's keep that right there, and let's take a look at what else you have. Very interesting pile so far. Can't wait to see what that's gonna say. You have comfort. And you have carrot, opportunity or windfall. Okay, let's now take a look at your tarot cards, my dear pile number 2. So you have the strength card. You have the Magician. Wow. Strong cards. You have the Magician card again. Wow, what's up with this pile? Wow. Okay. Are you like working on something hard to believe or something? Let's see. Looks like, my dear pile number 2, you're gonna be creating something that people are gonna think is so fascinating, that is so close to magic. You have the Star card. My God, my dear pile number 2. Wow. Okay. You have the Magician. That's it. I'm really done with this pile. Wow. What are you doing, pile number 2? What are you doing? Okay. You have the Two of Swords, picking between heart and brain here. Okay. Let's keep that here. The carrot wasn't joking, the card, when it says opportunity or windfall. This is go big or go home kind of thing. You have the Knight of Wands. And you have the Four of Swords. I have so many feelings for this pile. I almost want to go, ah! You're working on something magnificent, my dear pile number 2. Your future self is obviously explaining at how what you're doing now has resulted in something huge. People cannot believe what they're hearing, what they're seeing with what you're presenting in the future. That's why you have the artist archetype, which is an archetype that really fills our senses and makes us always in awe looking at people's masterpieces. So you're obviously, it's like you have this magician hands, and you will be creating something. I don't want to keep saying amazing because it's mind-blowing. It's much bigger than that. I must focus and find the exact word here that I'm feeling. You're creating something that perhaps no one has ever done before, at least in the way that you are doing it. You're creating something that people are going to be staring at in awe. And do you see how this witch is petting that lying almost like a dog, almost like she has a calm pet to deal with? So you're carrying out a project that may be intimidating to everyone else, and you're handling it like it's a piece of cake, like it's your everyday project. How else would you expect to do it, you know? So where is now the challenge, and what is the message for you? We're just taken aback first, which I'm sure your future self wanted us to notice. I was taken aback first by the magnificence of your creation in the future. So obviously with the carrot here, your future self is saying this is either going to go really big, which it will because your future self has already done it, but the type of project is so big in its nature that it's either going to go amazing or it might turn into something that falls, that doesn't work. It all depends on how you handle it, my dear pile number 2. With the Two of Swords, your future self is saying there are 2 ways to look at it, and that's the difference between you in the future and why you were able to do all these amazing things and everyone else. Putting aside your amazing talent, and that's of course the number 1 reason why you've been able to achieve something like that, but the second major reason, which your future self wants to discuss in today's reading is how you see and approach this major project that you're maybe about to work on or you're already working on. With the mind and the heart here, you can either look at it as intimidating or big and panic and start feeling like, oh my God, am I going crazy? Or should I go back from doing this step back? Maybe I've bitten more than I can chew, and start going down a rabbit hole of feeling very worried about that crazy idea or this major big project that you want to achieve. Or you can take it you can do it in a smart way, in a way where you're not looking at this too emotionally and thinking about, right, now that I really want to do this and my heart is set there, and that's the kind of thing that motivates me to create, what do I need to do? What type of steps do I need to do to make that happen for myself? You've chosen the sixth house because there's a huge message here in terms of what you want to do with the sixth house. Knowing that the sixth house has to do with establishing a foundation. It's about our daily lives. Your future self is clearly saying this is working, has worked for them by making sure that you have established some sort of new habits that make a big crazy dream like that work. So your future self with comfort here is saying it's not as difficult at all as one would think it is to create a magical dream like that. A huge dream is achieved by simply changing a few habits and sticking to them every single day. And that's what I see your future self is advising you with here. It's really about sitting down with yourself and saying, right, I have this big dream. What would it take for me to achieve it? Do I need to research different topics to make this story work in the way that I want if you're writing a story? Do I need to watch movies and cartoons every day to pick up ideas that can inspire me in my own story? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Writing down all the things that would help you every day to make this crazy project a great success. Because every amazing thing has a bunch of things that have to be done in a different way than every other thing. Otherwise, everyone would have done it in the first place. So it's about writing it down and making sure you establish routines and habits every day that would make it absolutely possible. The secret here is the creative routines that you're going to set for yourself to make that crazy dream come true, my dear pile number 2. And that's exactly what I see your future self is saying. It's not about panicking. It's about cerebrally thinking with the Four of Swords. Right, what do I need to do to make this happen? And it doesn't have to be equally crazy to achieve it. It's really about sticking to simple routines every day. I know I've repeated this, but really this is the main point here. It's to do it comfortably, but to think outside the box of what you need to do every day to achieve it. I'm seeing an explosion of skills here. You know, especially with the Magician coming up twice. The Magician is someone who's a master, someone who's very skillful. Also, you have Artist, someone who's exploding with talent. You have the Magician here with a DJ. Again, someone exploding with talent. You have musical ears. Are you creative? I don't know. But you are exploding with challenge. And I see your future self saying, just like the carrot inside the land, there is so much more to your talent that even you don't know about, my dear pal number 2. And the only way to find out is through working on something. You might have an idea of how talented you are, but I see your future self saying that you don't understand, you yourself, just how much and what you can bring out on the table. And you won't find out until you are working creatively on that big dream that you are working on every day. You'll be surprising yourself. You'll be surprising yourself every single day as you get an idea here, an idea there, and you make a stroke of line like this, or you bring out a note like that. And together, even you aren't going to have enough watching that creation that you have created. So imagine how everyone else is going to feel if you yourself are mesmerized by the creation you've done, and you keep watching it all the time because you're so in love with it, not because you are the one who's done it, but because it truly is amazing. And my dear pile number 2, I think you're going to be looking at your creation and saying, my God, I'm the one who came up with that. It's almost impossible to think that I put it together like that. I mean, if you get asked, how did you come up with this? I think you're gonna, if you were honest, you would probably be saying, I really don't know myself. I mean, I still look at this and go, wow, I don't know how it happened, but it did. Obviously, your future self is talking about something magnificent that they're living in now. They cannot believe what they've created, and the process is so enjoyable. It's almost hard to believe how you're not already on it, is the kind of message I'm getting. It's like your future self saying it's so enjoyable. Your future self cannot imagine how they've wasted time before not having worked on this fun project. You're really going to enjoy doing that. You're not going to find it hard at all, my dear pile number 2, to find discipline and to work on it little by little every day. Once you are sucked into this project, you're going to enjoy every second of it. In fact, by the time it's finished, I think you're really going to feel so sad. A part of you is going to sink because you've had so much fun working on that. I'm so hyped up, my dear pile number 2. I would love to be working with you on an amazing project like that. So remember that the whole challenge now, for you to begin that fun process, is to establish routines. Think about it this way. Let's say you want to create an amazing documentary, but you don't even know what it takes to do a documentary. So one of your habits now is going to be reading about what a documentary entails every day. So that's going to be a part of your project with a bunch of other things. But the main thing about reading what it takes to do a documentary is that you'll find out what you don't know. And this way, this task in itself will be giving you more tasks to do every day, because now you know the right people to hire to help you with that documentary. Now you know the type of programs you need to learn. Now you know what type of shooting angles maybe you need to understand, the type of script writing you have to write, and so on and so forth. The more you know how to do something professionally, maybe now you want to take a class, and the more you'll be able to identify your tasks in a much clearer way, knowing every single day what you need to do to work on this amazing project. And the more you do the right thing, the more you get the results that you want in the way that you want it. So yeah, start thinking about what you need to do to learn what you don't know about that crazy, because it looks like a crazy project here, crazy good. and start putting new habits of things that you need to do every day to get to it. Don't think about, oh my God, this is crazy, I don't know what to do, maybe I should drop it. Not at all, my dear pile number 2. And I see that this is exactly what your future self has done, and it is celebrating amazing results. I wish you all the best of luck with that. May you always be blessed and achieve amazing things, my dear and talented pile number 2. This was your reading, and if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Also, if you enjoy zodiac tarot readings, make sure you check out my other channel. It's the first link in the description box. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book, my dear pile number 2. This book could really help you out in this project that you're doing. It can break it down for you and help you be a productive person in a very easy and fun way. This book is small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate reading it in the first place. But you'll find that it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find the link to this ebook down in the description box. There's also an audiobook if you love listening to your books. And my dear pile number 2, thank you so much for tuning in. So excited for you. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Lapis Lazuli as well as the 10th house. And with the 10th house, we of course have structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. So let's see how this fits into your reading. And we're taking a look at a message from your future self about a certain challenge that they've transpassed, a stubborn challenge that they have transpassed. All right, so we'll be taking a look at your oracle cards first. So you have servant with the light attribute as delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. And with the shadow attribute, we have using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Okay. You also have illumination. Wow. Love that card for you. All right. I love how these two shades, blue and orange or yellow, go together. Okay, so you have Vine. Seek out information that will help you. Okay, let's keep it there. And let's now take a look at your tarot cards. So, you have the 5 of Cups. You have the Page of Swords. You have the 7 of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles. Wow, okay. You have the 10 of Pentacles. Wow, and what a 10 of Pentacles. Okay. This looks like a very achieved person, it seems, with a lot of money up there. Very proud of their family as well. Okay, 2 bodyguards at the back. Okay, you have the Woman of Wisdom, which is the woman is the Queen of Wands. Okay. You have the Devil card. And you have the Tower card. Devil and Tower, wow, that's strong, to be honest. So what is that challenge? What is that if we want to talk about a stubborn challenge, that is Devil and Tower is definitely, at least it seems, because the devil is an illusion, seems like a stubborn challenge. So what are we seeing here exactly? With the vine, I see your future self, of course, having overcome, transcended, and transpassed this stubborn challenge. And it seems like with the illumination, as well as seek out information that will help you, that your future self is talking about educating themselves to take themselves out of a difficult situation. And that's what we see here in the Queen of Wands, actually. We see a figure in front of a computer screen getting a lot of ideas because of all of the different apps that they're using to perhaps research something. So I'm not sure yet what the challenge is, but I do know that whatever your challenge is, my dear pile number 3, your future self is talking about having overcome this this challenge through information. It looks like it's information online because servant reminds me of a server intuitively. So it's definitely guiding me towards internet. Yeah, I think your future self has definitely, with the Page of Swords here, a lot of information as well in their backpack, has equipped themselves with the right information to transpass a certain challenge. It seems like this challenge is in the area of your work because that's the 10th house, you know? Life mission, career, accomplishments. So maybe you're working on something at the moment. It's pretty stubborn. It's a certain stage in your life that you would love to cross, but it's not happening. There seems to be a lot of disappointment in this stage of your life with the 5 of Cups here. Although I would say your excuse me, your future self is saying you have accomplished so much, but because you're such an ambitious person who has way bigger dreams, it seems. I mean, I've seen this 10 of Pentacles and I've laughed. You are someone who's very ambitious, who has big dreams. And although you've achieved a lot, and to a lot of the people around you, they're probably going, wow, pile number 3 is so lucky. How can they achieve all of these things? You are not looking at the things you have achieved because you have a bigger goal. And while that's an amazing thing, pile number 3, never ever let go of that, and never allow anyone to convince you of anything but that. But do always remember the wonderful things that you have accomplished. Never forget that about yourself, my dear pile number 3, because this is really not fair. And I see your future self saying there is so much that you're going to achieve in the future. Your future self is coming from a time of illumination, a time where you're really succeeding in your career. You're succeeding with flying colors, and it wants you to take it easy on yourself. Your future self wants you to take it easy on yourself. You're gonna get there anyway. So number 1, equip yourself with information. I'm not sure what type of difficult challenge this is, but your future self is saying you'll certainly find a lot of resources online that can help you out in this specific challenge that you're facing. I don't know what type of challenge it is. Is it a marketing challenge? Is it a how to move to the next stage of maybe audience challenge? Or maybe it's just it's a really technical issue. Maybe you work in technology, or maybe your field is too sophisticated for me to figure out, my dear pile number 3. And it's really all about looking deeper and digging deeper. You will find information that will help you transpass this certain stage that you're in, my dear pile number 3. I'm also noticing something about what is keeping you seemingly stuck. You know, with the Tower card, it's really interesting because you always have two figures in the tarot card. One figure who has noticed that the tower is now falling down and has jumped out of the tower to save themselves, and another figure that hates change, doesn't want to admit that there is anything wrong, and so the tower takes them down with it. And so here I'm seeing the idea of dropping something in specific. I think with what you are working on, there is something that you keep trying, you keep going back to, you keep thinking that it is the solution to the situation or the problem that you're in. I think your future self here is saying, drop that. Stop thinking that this is what's going to solve the situation. I think you need to broaden your perspective by researching, looking at in different directions. If you take a look at perhaps other people who have had the same experience, they may give you a different perspective on how they've solved it. Or perhaps as you take a look at the different other types of apps or Google your certain question, you'll find that there are different ways to solve and tackle what you're already working on, other than the same way that you may find yourself keep going back to solve it with. It's about changing perspective and changing direction by opening up your mind to what else can be done in your situation, my dear pile number 3. And also, I think another thing your future self is pointing out when it comes to overcoming your challenge is to not worry about other people at the moment. See, with this specific Two of Pentacles, I feel like you kind of have an audience. It doesn't need to be an online audience. It could be colleagues that are mesmerized by what you do. It could be people who work with you who think you're magical, think you're amazing at what you do. You have a lot of people that believe in you, that love watching you, and sometimes not disappointing them can get in the way of you figuring out what to do next, because you might have taken a certain steps, and going back from these steps may indicate to these people that you don't know what you're doing. And I see your future self telling you it's okay to sometimes not know what you're doing, even as an expert. It's okay. It's all about a curve of learning. And when you're really good at what you're doing, learning becomes much easier. Sometimes you pick up things much easier. You're able to detect issues in a much easier way. So that doesn't take anything away from you. But at the moment, you're really being advised to at least drop your audience or drop the people who are fascinated by you from your mind, not drop them from anywhere else, from your mind, so that you are able to think clearly of what needs to get done to overcome this specific difficult challenge. Not to think about them for the time being, because remember what your goal is, pile number 3. Do you want to fascinate them now, or do you want to reach these amazing dreams that you have in your heart and mind? And that's what you may want to go from to in terms of how you think these days. That's very potent or very obvious in your reading here, my dear pile number 3. I'm not sure why I'm reading a pile that I don't know anything about. Sorry. But I'm trusting exactly what I see for you. One last thing that is very interesting, actually, centering your reading here, that I see your future self talking about this stage of your life, is that you will be surprised how these very same challenges that you're going through at the moment will help you find key things as you research that will be the foundation, and that's again the 10th house, that will be the foundation of the amazing things that you're going to be building in the future, getting you the best results. So if you have a certain challenge that you don't know how to solve, finding why this challenge is happening in the first place, understanding why, will not only be mesmerizing to find out about, but will open up a new loophole, will open up a whole new area of you seeing things that you didn't know about at all. You saying, oh my God, so that even exists? There's a thing like that? And from that, you'll be able to create so many other amazing things in your career specifically that will help you create a lot of success, and especially the type of success that you want. So it's kind of like really at the moment of your life, a challenge in disguise, or a blessing in disguise of a challenge. Once you figure it out, there's no stopping you from there. It's going to be one of the biggest blessings, this challenge, that ever happened to you, because it's leading you to amazing things. Just stop focusing on anything that does not have to do with the challenge in front of you. Forget about people surrounding you at the moment. Forget about the way you solve it. Keep to go back doing the same thing. Research, and you will find things that you did not imagine were even there. And this challenge is opening up your eyes to see things that you have not seen it before, my dear pile number 3. This is exactly what I see in your reading. Always remember that some mishaps happen for a reason. They're there to help you push through and redo things in different ways that you haven't thought of before, because you're used to doing things in a certain way, and they always open up grand doors for you. So have an open mind for them, my dear pile number 3. This is exactly what I see in your reading, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Also, if you enjoy Zodiac Tarot readings, make sure you check out my other channel. It's the first link in the description box. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book, my dear pile number 3. This book could really help you out with this challenge and with achieving the goals that you have in mind forever. You can set out goals this year and achieve all of them by next year, all while having fun. And you'll see that this book is small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate or waste time reading it. But you'll find that it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. There's also an audiobook if you love listening to your books. And my dear pile number 3, it was such a pleasure doing this reading for you. It was full of so many things to uncover, as which I'm sure you're going to be doing in your project. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye!